Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler video series videos I do for the water. I go over there, try out food and drink items. Eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, it is balls hot out today. It is so awful. I would not be out today, but a friend's daughter's having a graduation party, so I'm going to hop on over there after I do this, but we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Boom! My clutch shirt. I love this shirt. It's super cool. I love the design and everything. It is a, so like most of my band-related shirts, Clutch is a band, by the way. Most of my band-related shirts are shirts that I've gotten from concerts, you know, like directly from like the merch table. This one is a caveat because I did see them perform on this particular tour with a friend of mine named Drew. And problem was, I had like $0. Like, things had kind of coalesced in a really screwy way, and I had basically no money for the show. So, you know, thankfully my buddy Drew drove us out there and everything, and I bought the tickets in advance. But I didn't have any chance to get any merch. But after the show was done, you know, I went over there and my finances recovered a little bit, so I went over there and I looked up, you know, hey, is this shirt design available? And sure enough, it was, so I bought it online. Now I have it. And I actually have some really shitty videos from that performance that I attended. Like, they're terrible because, like, just the positioning that I was in. But if you want to check out Clutch and what they're about, I do have those videos on my channel as well. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music goes. But anyway, what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, I'm out this way because friend's daughter's having her graduation. Congrats to her and all her awesome stuff. And, you know, since I was out in this area and I'm really never out here, I was like, oh, I'll look around, you know, see what the food scene is like. So I found one place in particular that looked interesting. It's a place called Boom! Baba's Famous Steak and Lemonade. And it turns out that, like, despite the fact that I've lived in Illinois my entire life, I had no idea that these exist and that they're like a chain within Chicago. So this was from their Aurora location, and they're famous for their steak and lemonade. So, what did I get, folks? Well, I happened to get their Boom! Their Philly steak sandwich. Which, I mean, and then it's got a lot of fries and stuff with it, which is nice. But yeah, it's a Philly cheesesteak, basically, as far as I can tell. And what with being a Philly cheesesteak, that means that I'm classifying this as a sub sandwich review. What with it being a sub sandwich review, I have to preface it real quick with three things. Number one, for over 2 years now, I've been going on sub sandwich adventures, and what that means is I've been going out to basically every place that sells sub sandwiches, be they a chain location, Walmart, delis, what have you. I'm trying out sub sandwiches, reviewing them, posting them to my YouTube channel. That's where the second thing comes into play. Because I don't just post them to my YouTube channel, I'm such a nice guy, I actually post them to a specific playlist called Subs for Subs. That playlist is just for sub sandwich reviews. At the time I'm doing this, I have over 100 sub sandwich reviews in there. That's where number 3 comes into play, because maybe that's not enough for you. Maybe even that is not enough sub sandwich reviewing goodness. Okay? Maybe you're greedy. That's okay. Just wait until Sunday. Why? Because Sunday is SUBday. That is the day when I upload my sub sandwich reviews. So if you like them, thank you very much. Secondly, boom. All you gotta do is wait until Sunday. You're gonna get some sub sandwich reviewing goodness. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at this thing. Alright. Oh, and because this is a local establishment, it's also going to end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist as well. So, yay! Playlists. Oh, it's warm. It's so warm. It's the warmest thing that has ever been warm. Alright, so I'm going to... Alright, it looks like this. We're going to do it like this. As it goes over there and gets some of the stuff on my pants, but that's okay. Alright. Let's try a Philly steak from Chicago spot. If I can make this work. Cheese is nice and melty. Yeah, really good job on the cheese. The onions and the peppers are really good too. Yeah. They're nice. They got like a nice texture to them. Okay. The bread is good too. I was a little bit worried about it because like it looks kind of generic, but like it's doing a good job. It's holding everything together. It's absorbing the stuff it needs to absorb. I think if I had any point of contention with it, I do prefer sub bread. And, you know, again, this isn't exactly a sub, but, you know, whatever. That's a little bit firmer on the outside, just so you have a little bit more structural integrity. I'll also be honest and say I could have done without the shredded lettuce. I don't really think, in general, I don't like shredded lettuce all that much. Not to say it doesn't have a... I don't know that it has a place. Like, if I'm going to do lettuce anyway, typically speaking, just do, like, the actual, you know... But I get for this type of format. But then the other thing is I just don't think there needs to be lettuce on a Philly steak. But maybe that's just me. Yeah, bread is actually really good. Definitely impressed with the bread. It's definitely sloppy. And then the cheese, then, you know, the steak itself is pretty good. Like, I don't have a ton of experience with Philly steaks. And of course, you know, I've never been to Philadelphia, so I've never had like a proper one. I can only go off of my personal experiences with, you know, the locations that I've been able to try. Steak is tender. Has a nice steaky flavor. Honestly, out of the Philly steaks that I have tried, I would actually say this is probably one of the better ones. Like, I would say it's better than, crap, what's that one place I usually go to? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they're like a chain location. You know, and their Philly steaks are decent for what they are, but, like, this is definitely better than that. And I would say it's probably even better than Jersey Mike's. And I like Jersey Mike's quite a bit, so... I mean, it's ooey, it's gooey, it's messy as fuck. It has all the cheesesteak elements that I personally am expecting. And they all coalesce really nicely. You know, I doubt it stands up against, like, you know, again, like a proper Philly steak from Philly, but in terms of just being what it is, like, that's a good Philly steak. I can see why you would put your name to that. Yeah, that's proper. But, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Well, I doubt I'm going to be out back this way anytime real soon, because boy oh boy is it a little bit of a trip to get here for me. But, let's say I was. I would go with yes and yes. I think, although I wouldn't be like, they wouldn't be resounding endorsements on either end, I think that what they do, they're doing well. I think that, you know, for the cheesesteak being what it is, and, you know, again, not being probably the most authentic version of it, it's a good cheesesteak. It's tasty. It hit all the points that I needed to. There was nothing bad about it. You know, like I said, I've certainly had worse cheesesteaks before. Charlie's Cheesesteaks. That's the chain location I usually go to. I would say that personally I find it to be better than that. And I think that, yeah, it's something where I would probably go over there, you know, if I made my way back this way, I'd probably explore more of their menu before I went back to it. But if I was just in the mood for a cheesesteak and I ran into one of these places, I'd get it again. And if I'm recommending it, you know, again, is it probably going to be like the best cheese, or, you know, the best Philly steak you've ever had? I don't know. You know, it depends on what your life has been and where you've been. But I do think that it's a pretty solid representation of it. Again, like, I can understand why they hang their hat on this. This is a good Philly steak. And the fact that, again, not only, they seem to have some quality food, at least from the one thing I've tried so far, but the fact that they're a chain location in the state that I'm from and I've never heard of them is genuinely sad, because, like, that's unfortunate, because I think that, at least from what I've had so far, they seem to be putting out a decent product. And I would recommend this if you're living in the Chicago area. You can probably get a better Philly steak somewhere else, but I think that this one is at least solid and good, and it does what it needs to do. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, my rest of the month. Spend this rest of your folks show with yourselves a truly, it's way too hot. Why do people have to graduate when it's so hot? Stop it. I mean, I know it's the summer and all that stuff, but final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you gotta do, folks. You're gonna try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. Do well, exceed in school, graduate early, so that we don't have to do this shit in the summer. Oh my God. And again, that's nothing against anybody or anything. That's just the heat talking. I've made it clear that, like, you give me the money and the resources to do it, I'm blowing up the sun. We're done with the sun. I don't need it. I don't like it. But congrats to anybody who might be watching this review and having graduated and all that stuff. That's a hell of an accomplishment, and, just the beginning of incredible journeys and all that good stuff. Anyway,